Hello friends, welcome back to Edida. In the previous videos, we have discussed about the theory part related to the shear strain. Now, let us solve the problems based on the topics. So, if before solving the problems, if we want to solve the problems regarding the topic shear strain, we have to read some terms very carefully because like whether the problem we are dealing with, whether it is a sand or whether it is a clay or whether you are talking about the normal consolidated clay or over consolidated clay or normal consolidated sand. That means why? Because depending upon these tests and the type of the soil, there are some parameters like either we are talking about the cohesion or we are talking about the angle of friction. Some parameters maybe goes zero. So you have to identify corresponding to the test that is going to be conducted on the soil. In that case, we can go with the exact solution. Okay, now let us start it. In a direct shear test, the shear stress and normal stress. So it is we are talking about the direct shear stress. The shear stress and normal stress on a which type of soil we are talking about the dry sand sample. So if we are talking about the dry sand, then we know that the cohesion will not be there. So we can take that cohesion is equal to 0. At failure, that means in a direct shear test, at failure, it is observed that how much shear stress is observed. Let us say that shear stress is represented with S. It is observed 0.75 kg per centimeter square. Then how much normal stress is observed? I think the normal stress, let us say under 1. So normal stress, let us say we are representing sigma at the time of failure. How much? 1 kg per centimeter square. Now what we have to find? We have to find the angle of friction of the sand. So if you remember the direct shear stress, how we will find the shear stress? That is nothing but a shear strain that will be equal to cohesion plus normal stress at failure times the tan phi. So it is like a direct question, and if it is a dry sample, then you should understand that there will not be any cohesion. That's it. Substitute the values here. So if I substitute here 0.75, that will be equal to 0 plus normal stress at failure 1 into tan phi. Then if you solve this, then that is what nothing but your angle of friction for the corresponding sand. So if you solve this, you will get this as around 36.9 something. That means we can report our answer as nearly equal to 37 degrees. Otherwise, how much I have to represent here? Here we will get the value in calcium 36.9. Then that means 1 is nothing but how many degrees? You are taking 1 degree. How many minutes? 60 minutes. Now, if it is a 0.9 degree, then how many minutes it will be? 0.9 into 6, how much? 54 minutes. So if you want to represent exactly, then you should represent like 36 degrees, 54 minutes. Otherwise, you can simply represent it as a 37 degrees. It's depending upon the questioning, whether they are asking up to how much degree accuracy. If nothing is mentioned, if I need options, you can say directly 37 degrees. You can pick this. So it is directly formula oriented question. Now move on to the next. So what is given? A soil fails under a axial vertical stress of 100 kilopascal in unconfined compression test. That means now we are talking about the unconfined compression test. If you remember, this test is only applicable for the which type of soils. As supportings are not there, it will be applicable only for either silt or clay. The failure plane makes an angle. So here they are talking about the failure plane with respect to the horizontal. So whatever the failure plane we have represented or we have discussed in the theory, that we have represented with respect to the horizontal. Suppose here if they are mentioned with respect to vertical, then 90 minus 51, that is what with respect to the horizontal. So be specific with the angle in what unit they have represented. So if you remember what is the failure plane with respect to horizontal, if you represented that, we can represent it as 45 plus 5 by 2. So they are given the failure plane with respect to horizontal, that is what nothing but a 51. That will be equal to 45 plus 5 by 2. That means as they are given the failure plane, based on that we can directly find out the angle of friction. From this, how much will get? 51 minus 45, 6 into 2, 12 degrees. So from this we have obtained that our angle of friction is 12 degrees. Now, what we have to find? Again, we have to find out the cohesion also. Now, as of now, we have got the phi value. Then how can I find out the cohesion value? Right? Now, if you remember, if it is an unconfined compression test, that means you don't have any minor stress. That means sigma 3 is equal to 0. If I write it down the failure equation in terms of the effective stress, how can I write it down? If you remember, sigma 1 equal to sigma 3 into tan square of, simply I can write it down as alpha f plus 2c tan alpha f. As we are talking about the UC test, we know that sigma 3 is equal to 0. That means this entire magnitude is equal to 0. And what they are talking about? At a failure stress of 100 kilopascal. So there, this is what nothing but your sigma 1 value. So in the place of sigma 1, if I take the 100 equal to 2 times C into tan of, what about the failure plane angle? Tan of 51 degrees. So here also it is like direct formula oriented question, but previously we have discussed about the direct shear, and this is the problem related to the unconfined compression test. Then if you solve this, we'll get that your cohesion will comes as around 40.5 kilopascal. Right? Now move on to the next question. Now read the question. A sandy soil. That means we are talking about the sandy soil. Sample tested in a triaxial compression apparatus. So now we are talking about the triaxial test. Failed when the total maximum and minimum principal stresses 120 and 55 kilopascals respectively, right? And the pore pressure measured was 15 kilopascal. The effective principal stresses ratio. So if you understand this, they have given the principal stresses, major and minor. So what is the major principal stress? Corresponding to the given data, 120 kilopascal. What about minor principal stress? 55 kilopascal. And also they have given that pore water pressure is also given. How much it is given? 15 kilopascal. So what they want? They want nothing but a effective principal stresses ratio. So what about the effective stress? Effective major principal stress. I can write it down as total stress minus pore water pressure. That will be equal to, what is the total stress? 120. Pore water pressure 50. If you solve this, we'll get this value as around 105. Similarly, what will be your effective minor principal stress? That is what nothing but a total minor principal stress minus pore water pressure. So what about minor 55 minus pore water pressure 15? That will be equal to 40. So they just need the ratio of these two. That means sigma 1 dash by sigma 3 dash. That will be equal to 105 divided by 40. So if you solve this, we will get this value as around 2.6. Now, here there is some doubt. You know what it is? So here we are talking about the effective principal stress ratio. Suppose if I find out sigma 1 dash minus sigma 3 dash, this is also effective principal stress ratio. Similarly, if I take sigma 3 dash by sigma 1 dash, this is also, I'll say that effective principal stress ratio, isn't it? So it will be clear. We should express the answer somewhat clearly. Okay, if nothing is mentioned, then we can take it as major divided by minor. Okay. Now, in the next video, we will solve some more problems. Thank you.